right, here we go. Sickest you ever were during a game and felt like you could yak on the field. How impressive was Myers staying in the game? Okay. I think every lineman I know has yacked on the field. I heard you hear the sirens of it. I think everybody that I've ever met has thrown up on the field. Um, I don't know about on the football. Gray Ruger's got a great story about, I think, about nose picking in the football or something, but you'd have to ask Gray. The sickest I ever was, I was talking about this today actually. I played in my second or third year in Carolina. We played against the Saints in like September, hot, right? I woke up sick, just coming at it everywhere. 105 fever. They're giving me all the fluids and they're giving you like the anti-vomit drugs and everything. And I can't keep anything down. I must have lost 15, 20 pounds before the game started. And we got to we scored I played the first drive and we went up to go to the second drive. We scored. I sit down on the bench and I'm not doing well. And I stand up, I took like two steps and apparently I just fell flat on my face. And they dragged me over to the they dragged me over into the threw me in a cold tub and just started IVing me. And that was the first time I ever had to like actually no doubt miss a game. Uh, sad, sad, pathetic day for me. What did you see from Jeff Hafley? You encourages you. Did anything worry you? Also thoughts on coordinating. Yeah, so what we just talked about really with the Hafley defense, I just think it's going to take some time. Guys have to get used to the way they're going to play. You know, we haven't seen a lot from Rashawn Gary from the pass rush standpoint, which surprises me a little bit coming out of three. We saw it early. We saw it early in the preseason. I was maybe more hopeful that he would take to it faster. You saw a couple plays, and I think this was the Oregon kid, Bullard, or is it Williams, Evan Williams? That they're really trying to stick and then sprint down when they go to single safety high. And sometimes when they do that and they're playing like cover three match or cover one, and you run like some sort of cross move with like a twin set wide receiver, he got burnt bad on the like the up and out because he's literally running at the guy and the guy just takes the sideline and goes to the and can go to the house. So I think there's some things there where you just have to kind of understand the situations a little bit better and you just need to get more reps. But you have to fundamentally like the way that they're playing and flying around, maybe more so than last season. You remember, like yesterday for everything or Sunday, you're dealing with a dynamic quarterback, an all-pro running back, and a really good offensive line, right? So the Eagles and the Colts are good running football teams. We'll see what happens here in the upcoming weeks. I think they're going to improve. Which run schemes assignments did you enjoy most as a player? Why? We ran 96 power loads 16 times a game one year with KB in at the tight end, Bubba as the F tight end, Boogie in the backfield with Amon, and I pulled 16 times a game in. Like sometimes you loved it, sometimes you hated it, depending who the linebackers were. But like we always knew we were going to get yards on it, and it was just like a tough guy signature play. Like there's no better feeling in football than be able to move a human where he doesn't want to go. That's kind of why like linemen play football is because I want to be able to move a human where he doesn't want to go. And so the ability to do that consistently and put that in showcase was awesome. How do you think defensive line performed? I just kind of showed it, right? Like you got to take some of the good with the bad. You'd love to see some more pressure. I think some obvious pressure for some wins. I really thought, and I said this going into the game, I thought that Gary would be able to just bowl the absolute hell out of that right tackle. And I thought that Preston would get around maybe more often than they did. I thought that the interior was going to have their hands full. I think they have a good interior offensive line. But just watching the games and seeing how they collapse, the other teams are collapsing the pocket against them, maybe a little bit surprised that we didn't. Although, even though it was the game was never out of hand to the time where like they couldn't run what they wanted to run. And the Colts had they just made a lot of mistakes. They made some mistakes on ball handling. They made some mistakes on dropping the football. Some routes were mistimed. So, all of it plays into it. I continue to hope that you see improvement from week to week with this football team because I think when you put in something new and you don't practice in the preseason like these guys don't, it's just tough. Have you ever played in a game where you had offense rush 50 plus times? Did you love it or were you begging for your pass call? So I don't know if I did or not. I think I already answered this. Like I have never begged for a pass call in my life. I would run the ball every play if I could. I hate pass pro is why they pay you. Run blocking is why you play. My question is going to be almost the same. People say Wyatt looked like he took a big step. So yeah, Wyatt looks good. playing against some good players, it changes things. Like Dickerson for the Eagles, like one of the best left guards in the league. So it's not like. And then I think they brought him Mekhi Becton over there, like the units, man. Like Quentin Nelson's pretty damn good. Ryan Kelly, the center, is pretty good. So you see them have success in pockets. And what we're always going to want to see from Wyatt is play leverage playing, being able to take on double teams better. And then like when you want to be the premier guy and win one-on-ones, you got to win one-on-ones. And so he's got to keep refining technique. Tell us more about Mike Flanagan's prolonged leg issue. Okay. So yeah, Mike, I wasn't even there, but 2 years before I got there, he was preseason game, kickoff return, I believe. And Mike would tell you the story. He just had a horrific tibia fibula snap, ankle near his knee snap, like bad. I think that he played at all. I think the doctors would say it was a pretty impressive thing. And then to play at his level, you'd imagine that he probably lost some athleticism naturally through that. So you just imagine what kind of athlete he was before, playing center for the UCLA Bruins and then obviously with the Packers backing up Frankie. Like he was incredible basketball player, maybe our best basketball player, which pains me to say, but really, really good kind of all around athlete. Is it time to move on from Quay, Nixon, and Nickel? I think that Nixon is more likely to move on than Quay. Quay's a first-round pick. He has the athletic ability. I don't know that they have a guy that you're just going to go, I want to commit all my resources to this guy instead of that guy. Nixon with Bullard, with Williams, when you start with the Oregon State kid, you've got so many options there. I think the big thing is they don't. Do you put Valentine, Stokes? Is anybody capable of playing in the nickel from a corner standpoint? But you've got a lot of dudes, young guys that I think those the safeties they draft, I think all of them can play. So if you want to start mixing up and put three safeties on the field and take him out, there's a lot of good that he does, and he's a physical player. You'd have to cut down on the mistakes to secure your job over the long term. Quick Quay breakdown. Is he going too fast, trying to make the big play? No. Is he making all the little play? No. Quick, we described it at length at this point. He needs to continue to develop. He doesn't see things like we talk about speed of play. It's really speed of thought, and speed of thought's based on like confidence in that. Well, I've seen this before. I know exactly what to do. I can read and react. It's like I see it. My Rolodex goes, and I react to what like that says. Okay, and that doesn't necessarily happen. We saw the play on. He's like kind of hipped off there. Like, where are you going in that situation? And those things happen a little bit too often. I'll ask the dumb question. As someone who's never played football at any level, is vomiting a common thing? Yeah, it actually is, sadly. Although it's not as popular as it used to be. It used to be pretty popular, like pre-game vomit. It was a lot of questions on Quay here. Let's just end it on this, guys. Football's a tough sport. There's a lot going on at the linebacker position. There are times when our guys are not making it easy for him, and there's times where he can improve. And sometimes those are the same play. But you've made the commitment. Goody's made the commitment. He's an outstanding athlete, and he shows flashes of brilliance. So you need to find a position or a way to improve his consistency. And I wish it was outside of the box, quite frankly, but I don't know that it can be. What happens with phenomenal athletes is the details of the sport sometimes get lost because you didn't have to learn them because you could do everything better than everybody else from day one. It feels like when I show the difference between how we attack a run blocker, when it feels like part of that is with Quay has been super reliant. And listen, I don't know him, and this is not I'm just showing you. I'm telling you what I see on tape. He has been reliant maybe more on athleticism than say an Isaiah McDuffie who didn't have that athleticism to get by on. So maybe he's a little bit more aggressive to the ball, quicker on his reads, maybe a little bit technically a little more sound. What happens in football is you get to the pros, whether you were first round pick, fifth round pick, free agent, doesn't matter, no matter where you came from. Unless you're like a quarterback, top 5 pick. And if you're a first round pick, you can get more chances than the fifth round pick. Okay. But at some point, you're going to have issues. And then when you have issues, there's nobody really to like lick your wounds for you, right? Or make you tell you it's going to be okay. You either got to fix them or you're not going to play anymore. And your leash is longer the higher you got drafted. But eventually, if you don't fix them, somebody else will play because there's just too much talent in the United States of America for the National Football League. There's just too many guys that can play football. So you have to figure out if you're not getting the help you need from your coach, or there's not a mentor that you can go to on the team, then you got to go somewhere and find something. And with Quay, what I would say is, if the guys if Andy Herman, who's at every practice, isn't seeing him out working on block destruction every day, then the problem isn't that he's not being taught; it's that he's not working at it, right? And so it's those kind of things that unless you know the guy, you're intimate with the daily details, you just don't know for sure. But a lot of coaches want to talk about, hey, if you see it, you know it, you can do it, it's fast, like we're good. That's half of the game. The other half is how you execute those little details because they make a huge difference. So, anyways, it's good to win. Winning's better than losing. That's what my dad always says. And listen, we'll get to the preview show for next week. Check me out, MikeWall68, Process to Perform on Instagram. Check out the show on our Process to Perform channel. Block Party's out, man. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're enjoying. Hit me up with some questions. You got them. I'll talk to you later.